You just played 9 holes with Nelly, as we've seen. What does it mean for women's sports, for two of the biggest stars to come together in this sort of environment? How important is that?
I think it just shows how powerful, supporting one another can truly be. And, I've always been a big advocate of that and supporting women's sports, and always been a big fan, whether it's golf or soccer or volleyball, whatever it is. So it's really fun to just see her do her craft up close and how good she is. And, getting to play with her last year, and I played a few other rounds with her. So she just makes the game of golf look really easy. So you're almost like, how? But, she's great, and, I'm rooting for her to win this week.
Okay, this is wild.
Caitlin Clark just sat down with the Golf Channel, and seriously, she dropped some bombs nobody saw coming. We're talking zero filter, no PR BS, just straight up honesty about her game, her injuries, and what she really thinks about women's sports. The interview hit, and people are absolutely buzzing about what she revealed. This isn't just another athlete interview, it's different. By the way, who do you think is the most unfiltered athlete out there right now? Let us know in the comments below, because here's the thing, Caitlin Clark does not do boring interviews. That's just not her vibe. So when the Golf Channel snagged her at the Annika Pro-Am, you knew it was gonna be good. And holy cow, did she deliver. She called herself and her teammates out for being terrible golfers, then casually dropped that she's been battling injuries all season. Clark gave us an interview that reminds everyone exactly why she's such a massive star. She's authentic, she's hilarious, and she's not about to pretend to be someone she's not.
Got the basketball court down there. Down we go again to Tom Abbott.
Yeah, here with Caitlin Clark, who absolutely ripped one down there, number 10. But I've got to ask you first about your teammates' performance there.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. That's nerve-wracking, getting up in front of a bunch of people and having to hit a golf club. Obviously, we're basketball players, so we're not very good at this, but they make this event fun, so it's fun to have them out here.
So check this out. Let's kick things off with the absolute best part, her straight up roasting her own teammates. When they asked about Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall's golf game, Caitlin didn't sugarcoat a single thing. We're basketball players, so we're not very good at this, she said, totally deadpan, no fake hype, no, oh, they did amazing nonsense. Just pure, unadulterated truth, delivered with a smile. That's classic Caitlin Clark, right? Confident enough to admit limitations, but still showing mad love for her crew. She even followed up, saying she's proud they got out there in front of a crowd. And honestly, fair enough. Imagine swinging clubs in front of strangers when you're used to selling out freaking arenas. It's totally nerve-wracking. But the interviewer wasn't about to let her off easy. Oh, they immediately tried to pivot into the WNBA's collective bargaining negotiations. And honestly, you could practically feel Caitlin's internal eye roll. She wanted to talk golf, the interviewer wanted drama. Classic media move. But here's the kicker. Instead of taking the bait or dishing out some bland no comment, she smoothly redirected right back to golf and her personal journey with the sport. That, my friends, is media training at its finest. She didn't shut them down rudely. She didn't create a headline. She just kept it moving. Smart.
Today, second time here at Pelican.
Yeah, I think it was warming up the first 9 holes, but it's always cool to be out here, and they put on a great event, and Gamebridge does a great job, and it was fun to play with Nelly and now playing with Lauren. So anytime you get to be out in the sun and in Florida and in front of really cool fans, it makes for a great day.
To golf. So let's talk about your golf and your golf journey. Yeah. Where did it start and how is it progressing?
Yeah, I actually grew up playing a little bit. I remember for one of my birthdays, I got this cute little set of pink golf clubs. They obviously weren't very nice or anything. And then kind of stopped playing. And then during COVID, I picked it back up in college. I had quite a few guy managers that played and some of my teammates. So we would make it competitive. None of us were really that good, but it was really fun for us to play with each other in the summers or whenever we had some free time.
All right, let's dive into her golf journey because honestly, it's pretty hilarious. Caitlin actually grew up playing a little bit, and for one of her birthdays, she scored a set of Nike golf clubs. But here's the kicker, and this is so Caitlin. She made sure to clarify they weren't nice or anything. Like, she totally could have just said she got clubs and moved on, but nope. She had to let everyone know they were just basic. That, my friends, is the kind of unnecessary, brutal honesty that makes her interviews pure gold. She's not trying to paint some picture of being a golf prodigy. She's just a kid who got some clubs, played a bit, then quit, then COVID hit. And just like millions of us stuck at home with absolutely nothing to do, Caitlin picked golf back up. But here's the thing, she didn't pick it up to zen out or find inner peace or whatever people claim golf does for them. Oh no. She picked it up because her Iowa teammates wanted to make it competitive. None of us are that good, she admitted, but it was fun for us to play in the summer or whenever we had free time. And if that wasn't perfectly on brand for Caitlin, I don't know what is. Even recreational activities have to have a competitive edge for her. You just know those Iowa golf outings were absolutely packed with trash talk and side bets.
I know it's been a tough year in terms of injury for you. Does that mean you've played a little bit more golf this year?
Unfortunately, it means I've played less, just because I haven't been able to get out there with some of the injuries that I was dealing with. But now feeling back to 100%. So I've been trying to take advantage of the fall weather in Indianapolis before, it gets too cold. And obviously being down here in Florida, the weather makes it pretty easy to play some golf. But getting in as much as I can, obviously I stay pretty busy, so I don't get to play as much as I would like.
But hold up, here's where things got seriously real. The interviewer, trying to connect the dots, asked if her tough injury year meant she played more golf. And Caitlin, she shut that down immediately. It means I've played less, she said, because I haven't been able to get out with the injuries I was dealing with. Whoa. Let me break this down for you. This is the first time she's truly opened up about just how bad those injuries were. Everyone knew something was up, right? You could totally see it in her movement late in the season, but she's been super quiet about the specifics. So hearing her say outright that injuries kept her off the golf course, that's huge. It confirms what every single fan suspected. Her rookie year was physically brutal, but then the good news dropped. She's now feeling 100%. You have to understand, that's what Fever fans desperately needed to hear. After a season where she basically carried that team on her back while clearly battling physical issues, knowing she's healthy going into the offseason is absolutely massive. And get this, she's apparently been taking full advantage of the fall weather in Indianapolis, trying to cram in as much golf as possible before winter slams down. Although, she did admit Florida's weather makes it way easier to play, which, duh, nobody wants to golf in Indiana in December.
You just played 9 holes with Nelly, as we've seen. What does it mean for women's sports, for two of the biggest stars to come together in this sort of environment? How important is that?
I think it just shows how powerful, supporting one another can truly be. And, I've always been a big advocate of that and supporting women's sports, and always been a big fan, whether it's golf or soccer or volleyball, whatever it is. So it's really fun to just see her do her craft up close and how good she is. And, getting to play with her last year, and I played a few other rounds with her. So she just makes the game of golf look really easy. So you're almost like, how? But, she's great.
And the interviewer kept pushing, asking about her experience playing alongside Melly Korda. This is where Caitlin got genuinely thoughtful, which is always interesting to hear. She immediately talked about how incredibly powerful it is for women in different sports to support each other. I've always been an advocate of supporting women's sports, she said. Golf or soccer or volleyball, whatever it is. And here's the thing, that's not just lip service from her. Caitlin has consistently shown up for other female athletes, giving them shout-outs on social media and using her massive platform to elevate women's sports across the board. She's not just talking the talk, she's absolutely living it. But the best part, for real, was when she talked about watching Nelly golf up close. She makes the game of golf look really easy. Caitlin admitted, "You're almost like, how?" But she's great. That "you're almost like, how?" is such a perfect raw reaction. Caitlin is competitive as hell, so watching someone be that effortlessly good at their sport probably just blows her mind. She knows exactly what elite looks like because, well, she is elite. Seeing Nelly casually pull off shots on a golf course that seems straight up impossible, that's gotta be wild. And she ended it with, "I'm rooting for her to win this week," which is just pure class.
It's on your golf swing. You've been working a little bit with Jamie Mulligan, I saw back there. What are you struggling with?
Well, I'm slicing it off the tee, but that was honestly probably my best drive of the day, so I'm happy with it. Just need to slow down. I swing so fast and so hard. That's my problem. I always want to kill the ball, but honestly, I've hit some good iron shots and had some good putts. I need a long putt to go in so the crowd can go crazy. I think they're waiting for that.
I agree. We need to get some energy in this crowd.
No pressure. I'll try to deliver. I'll do my best.
Let's see you knock it in here close and make.
Then came the technical golf talk, and honestly, this is where Caitlin's personality truly shined. When asked about her swing and what she's struggling with, she absolutely didn't hold back. I'm slicing it off the tee, she admitted, but that was probably my best drive of the day. Translation: her best drive still wasn't great, but hey, at least it wasn't as embarrassing as the others. She knows her problem too. She swings too fast and too hard because she always wants to kill the ball. What's even more insane is, that's the most basketball player answer ever. Never heard of her. Just grip it, rip it, and pray for the best. She did give herself some credit for hitting good iron shots and putts, but then immediately said she needs a long putt to go in so the crowd can go crazy. Even on a golf course, she's thinking about the crowd, about creating those big moments. That's pure performer mentality. She understands that sports are entertainment, and people want to see something exciting. She could have played it safe, but nope. She wants to sink a ridiculous putt just to hear that reaction. That's showmanship. Now let's talk about what she didn't say, because sometimes that's just as important. The interviewer tried to steer straight into WNBA collective bargaining territory, and Caitlin, she completely avoided it. Not in a suspicious way, but in a yeah, I'm not getting into that right now kind of way. And honestly, smart move. CBA negotiations are messy, complicated, and anything she says could get twisted into a headline she doesn't want. She's already under enough scrutiny without adding fuel to an off-season fire. By keeping the focus squarely on golf, she controlled the narrative and stayed out of potential controversy. But here's the thing about that avoidance. It shows real maturity. A younger, less media-savvy athlete might have taken the bait, said something that could be interpreted a dozen different ways, and then spent the next week doing damage control. Caitlin's been through enough media circuses to know exactly when to engage and when to redirect. That's growth. That's learning. That's understanding that not every question deserves an answer. What's also super interesting is how comfortable she is acknowledging imperfection. She's the face of women's basketball right now, pulling in viewers and attention like nobody else. She could easily front like she's good at everything, creating this perfect untouchable image. Instead, she's out here admitting she's not great at golf, that her drives are slicing, and that her teammates aren't exactly crushing it either. That vulnerability is a huge part of why people connect with her. She's not trying to be superhuman, she's just trying to be really good at basketball and decent at everything else. And that injury admission, that's particularly significant because Caitlin's always been the tough it out type. She plays through contact, takes hits, and just keeps going. So for her to acknowledge that injuries kept her from doing something she genuinely enjoys, that means they were probably way worse than most people realize. Rookie seasons in the WNBA are notoriously physical, and let's be real, every opponent was gunning for her all year. The fact that she finished the season at all, let alone putting up the numbers she did, is seriously impressive. Now, hearing she's fully healthy, that should absolutely terrify the rest of the league. Let's also appreciate how she talks about her teammates. Even when she's being brutally honest about their golf skills, there's pure affection there. She's proud of them for trying. She thinks they make the event fun. She brought them along because she wanted them there, not because it was required. That's team culture in action. That's a leader who lifts others up, even when playfully making jokes at their expense. Sophie and Lexi probably loved that she called them out on national television, because they know it comes from a place of genuine friendship. And the Nelly Corda stuff, that's also worth unpacking because it highlights something crucial about Caitlin's approach to her platform. She doesn't just say she supports women's sports. She actively engages with athletes in other sports, learns about their crafts, and uses her massive following to shine a light on them. Playing golf with Nelly isn't just a fun outing, it's two of the biggest names in women's sports creating content, generating buzz, and showing fans that women athletes truly support each other across sports. That cross-sport collaboration is incredibly powerful, and Caitlin absolutely gets it. But underneath all the golf talk and teammate roasting, there's a subtle, powerful message. Caitlin Clark is in control. She's managing her recovery, enjoying her off-season, building relationships across sports, and keeping her focus exactly where it needs to be. She's not getting caught up in drama or controversy. She's not letting media bait her into saying something she'll regret. She's just being herself, competitive, honest, funny, and grounded. And that, my friends, is exactly why she's become such a phenomenon. The interview also showed just how comfortable she's become with fame. Last year at this event, she was still relatively new to this level of attention. Now, she's cracking jokes, working the crowd, casually mentioning playing multiple rounds with one of the best golfers in the world like it's no big deal. She's grown into her star status without losing what made her relatable in the first place. That's rare. Most athletes either get overwhelmed by fame or let it completely change them. Caitlin's just rolling with it. And let's be honest, the "I swing so fast and hard" comment is perfect. Of course she does. That's her personality on a basketball court too. Aggressive, attacking, pedal to the metal. She doesn't know how to do anything halfway. Even in a recreational sport, she's going at it with maximum effort. You can take the competitor off the basketball court, but you cannot take the competitor out of the purse. Golf is probably low-key frustrating for her, because you can't just overpower it. You need touch, feel, patience. Not exactly Caitlin's strongest attributes. The interview wrapped with her talking about wanting a long putt to drop so the crowd could go wild, and that perfectly encapsulates who she is. She's not just playing golf for herself. She's thinking about the fans, about creating moments, about entertainment. That's superstar mentality. That's understanding that your job isn't just to perform, it's to create experiences people remember. Whether it's draining a logo 3 or sinking an impossible putt, she wants to give people something to cheer about. What makes this interview so good is that it wasn't trying to be anything. It wasn't no manufactured drama, no clickbait moments. Just Caitlin being Caitlin, honest, funny, competitive, and real. In an era where everything feels calculated and pre-approved by PR teams, that authenticity stands out. She's not reading from a script. She's just talking, and somehow that's more compelling than anything manufactured could ever be. So yeah, Caitlin Clark just reminded everyone by she's must-watch material. Whether she's on a basketball court or a golf course. It's no filter, all honesty, and the kind of personality you simply can't fake. If you're here for unfiltered athlete content that doesn't waste your time, hit that like and subscribe button. Which sport should Caitlin try next?